search, everybody is like mad about Google search, and they feel that the two aspects that I want to talk about, right? Everybody just think that Google search is like, if you crack that, if you get leads from there, that's it. Like you can just scale it up, and it's the gold mine basically, because you can target intent, right? And the second is, of course, the go-to option generally is LinkedIn ads, right? And almost, I think 70-80% of the people that I talk to have tried LinkedIn ads, don't like LinkedIn ads, say it is very expensive. The time duration generally that they've tried is not more than 60 days, right? And that's also generally on the higher side, honestly. And yeah, and they just reject the channel entirely, right? What are your thoughts? Like first about Google search and then probably LinkedIn ads.
Yeah, so I think you've got to go in with a sort of data-driven and audience research, marry the audience research with the data, right? So if your
Yes.
audience research says that, okay, listen, people are searching, people will search on Google for these, right? You've got to look at what the keyword volume is like, what the what's like. I mean, what are the kind of phrases people are searching for? You might have a keyword volume which is going up, but that might be just educational keywords, right? They might be just using them in an educational query, right? How
Right.
do I set up, or how do I do this, or what is this, right? Or instead of searching for a tool, they might be just searching for the particular problem, right?
Right.
uh, Queries that say how do I not land up in spam does not necessarily translate to how do I buy an email marketing tool, right? Or list of email marketing tools, right?
Yeah.
These are very different intent queries, right? So you have to figure out, okay, listen, what's the kind of intent queries for that particular region, and if that does that warrant, Google ad spend, right? LinkedIn ads, I think people get it very wrong, right? I think people think
Yeah.
that, okay, I'll run some demo ads, I'll run some copy ads, I'll run some content ads, and I'll get leads and I'll get this. And it's primarily not their fault. Also, when you set up LinkedIn ads, right, on your right hand side, you're seeing click note, you're seeing benchmark metrics, you're seeing CTR, you're seeing
Yes.
clicks, and you're saying, okay, I'm spending $2,000, I'll get like say 20 leads. Okay, so you're like $100 per lead. Okay, I'm ready to spend it in the US, $100 per lead. I'm okay with it. I'll convert,
Yeah.
and then you're like, and then you do the math, you put it in Excel, you say, okay, if I get to 20 leads, I'll basically, 10 will show up for a meeting. Out of that, probably five will become opportunities, out of which, maybe one or two will convert. So I have a good ROI.
Yeah.
So you start thinking in a funnel perspective, right? What
Right.
what I think a lot of people, like you rightly said, right? What they do is they try to look at 30 days data, 45-day data, sometimes 60-day data, and they see, okay, nothing's worked here, right? And you're like, okay, nothing's working. Let's go home, right? So I think what they have to change for is basically look at LinkedIn as a water. I mean, if your audience is on LinkedIn and they are basically, I mean, look at it as a almost like a cafe kind of a place, right? People
Mhm.
are going there, reading stuff, talking to one another. People are reading someone else's post, right? Your ad
Yeah.
comes up in the feed. It's almost like it's almost like when a waiter brings in your coffee or your cafe or thing, that they're putting in up a advertisement, right? In a physical world, right?
Right.
There's an
Right.
advertisement there, right? So they might look at it, they might not look at it. That's fair and fine, right? And you have to go in with the concept that you're interrupting their feed. They have come here for a particular
Yeah.
reason. You are interrupting their reason of
Yeah.
being there, right? So you have to understand what is that one. You have to constantly innovate on what that hook that they will get. You will get captured them by. So again, where
Mhm.
audience research plays a big point because you understand their pain points, right? And once you understand that and you understand this is happening, then your LinkedIn starts to slowly start to work, right? You do so. There
Yes.
is a lot of you have to do a lot of, and when you talk to a LinkedIn account manager, right? The most common thing these folks will hear from the LinkedIn account managers is like, oh, you're running a lot of lead generation ad, but not a lot of brand ads, right?
Yeah.
And then people scoff at that recommendation and say, oh, who will run brand ads? We are a very
Yeah.
small funded company. How can we run brand ads? Right? So the meaning is not for you to run branding campaigns. The meaning is for you to run awareness campaigns, right? Because
Right.
your brand on LinkedIn is one of the million brands, right? There is
Yes.
a D2C brand. There is like say 20, even for your particular audience, there are like 20 brands fighting to your audience, right? with your
Right.
with your particular solution, or maybe a peripheral solution, or maybe some other solution, right? So
Right.
even if you're targeting, say for example, CMOs, right? CMOs are getting bombarded with every sort of software available, right?
Yeah.
Now if you're one of those bombardment, right, you also cannot expect, okay, the person is going to fill up a lead immediately.
Right.
You have to appear as a, you have to show them, okay, I'm a brand, I've taken out this, I've done a lot of work, this is my kind of awareness campaign. So you have to start running awareness campaigns Then you have to start running your, sort of like your content or your middle of the funnel campaigns. And then you basically go to a lead gen. And this takes time,
Right.
right? And this is where your great versus good marketers separate. The great marketers are, steadfast in their approach and they will not change, right?
Yeah.
Either they will not pick up LinkedIn as a channel and they'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
I understand the founder very well. I don't think so. We have the budget to, spend, look at 9 month kind of data. So we'll not go
Right.
for it. We'll not go for this 9 months experiment on LinkedIn. So we'll not do this. Or else if they decide that they're going to go ahead, they actually do not waver from the budget, no matter what happens, right? They complete a 9 month sprint, and then they see, okay, listen, this is what we tried doing on LinkedIn. These are the leading indicators. These are what were lagging indicators. This is what happened. Now, do we want to revisit a hypothesis of LinkedIn is good or not for us as a channel? Right. And it basically flows into a very nice story, right? You go right from your audience saying that, okay, this audience is available on LinkedIn. This audience also has confirmed that they spend time on LinkedIn. This is their pain point. Therefore, we ran these campaigns. We ran these first awareness, followed by, middle of the funnel campaigns, then basically capture campaigns, right? Now, in all this, we basically figured out, okay, this was the kind of things happening. Our awareness campaigns got a lot of interest. There were a lot of video views. There were a lot of, views, etc., visits to our website. Our middle of the funnel campaign also got a decent amount of, form fills and everything. However, our lead capture did not work. So basically, if we have to use LinkedIn, we have to use it only to raise our awareness and not to do anything. So basically, it then becomes more of your sales enablement channels, more of your demand, generation channel, rather than becomes a demand capture channel. And as a marketer, you have to differentiate your budgets between demand capture and demand generation.